And a good Saturday morning to you. It's time for Health Matters with Dr. Jim Warner of Warner Chiropractic, located at 4855 East State Street in Rockford, Illinois. And I've heard that there's almost nothing more painful than having a stone in your gallbladder, and that kind of pain, they compare it to natural childbirth. And Dr. Jim, we're talking about the gallbladder today.
Yes, we are. You have a lot of gall to bring that up, Fred.
Well, you told me to.
Well, good morning. We're going to talk about the gallbladder today, and that is an important organ of the body, and people don't realize it until it starts hurting, like you said, Fred. Most people don't think about their gallbladder until it starts hurting.
And many times people just have that old gallbladder removed to get rid of all that pain, but
they do.
What is the purpose of the gallbladder?
Okay, that's an excellent question. Let's just break the word down, gall and bladder. Okay,
right.
A bladder is just basically a pouch that holds something.
All right.
So if you've got your urinary bladder is a pouch that holds the urine before you go to the bathroom. Well, the gallbladder is the bladder that holds the gall or the bile. Depends on if you're talking Greek or Roman, and so or Latin, I should say. So the gall is the bile, and that is what mixes with fat in your diet so that your body can absorb it. In other words, the fat would go right through your system unless it mixed with your bile or your gall. And so, therefore, it's very important for utilization of fats that's in your diet. And we need fat. There's good fat and there's bad fat that we hear a lot about. But your body needs certain amounts of fats. And so the only way it can be absorbed is through the bile. Now, the bile is made in the liver. And so it's manufactured there, and it's made out of cholesterol. So a lot of times people think, well, my cholesterol is bad. Well, cholesterol is, you die without cholesterol.
Right, and there's good and there's bad cholesterol.
Yeah, and so cholesterol is about 90% of bile is cholesterol. And so your body needs cholesterol to absorb the fats that are in there. And that's why when you're taking statin drugs that are supposed to lower the cholesterol, what it does, it screws around with your liver, and that's why you have to have liver tests taken all the time, because people can get severe liver disease from taking certain drugs because it's messing up the liver function, trying to make it so it doesn't make enough or as much bile.
And I would think that if you had your gallbladder removed then, as some people do in operations, as quite a few people do, that you'd have an imbalance there. You wouldn't be able to assimilate the fats as you should.
Well, what they do then is they connect the tube, the bile duct, they connect it from the liver straight to the intestine, and they try to bypass the gallbladder because they remove that. You know, so what happens then is that you're having some bile being released into your small intestine all the time then, whereas with the gallbladder, it has contractions and such that squeezes the bile into the small intestine where it mixes with the fats.
Well, we've all heard about how painful it is, and I'm sure people that have had gallstones would give some great testimonies,
yes,
organ recitals about the terrible pain that's
Absolutely.
involved. What causes this? What causes the buildup of stones?
Okay, good question. Well, what they found, Fred, is that people that have too much of a fatty diet, that all the time, there's just a lot of cholesterol or bile buildup in there, and it forms stones. Another thing that causes it, Fred, is not having enough liquid, not enough water. So people that get gallstones, normally they're not drinking enough water either, and then it just kind of forms these stones.
Whereas if you had more water, then they wouldn't form.
Then your bile would be runnier,
right,
more liquid, and it would go through your system and not have time to coagulate to form these stones. And many, many times when I see people with gallbladder problems, they really have a water problem. And if we can get that gallbladder working correctly and then have them drink water, then it'll be much better. I had one patient at one time that I was checking her, and I said, you got gallbladder trouble. Oh, no, I don't have gallbladder trouble. And I said, well, according to these tests that I'm doing, it's telling me that there's something wrong with your gallbladder. And she says, oh no, my gallbladder's been removed. Well, yeah, there's a reason why it was removed. This particular person drank 0 water, but she drank about a pot of coffee a day, And she said, I don't like the taste of water, and I get my fluids from coffee.
Diuretic.
Well, coffee is a diuretic, and more water will go out of your system. So if you're a heavy coffee drinker and you're not drinking water, you're very prone to gallbladder disease.
And if you want to reverse something like this, because obviously doctors think sometimes it's just better to remove it, but if you want to reverse it, is there a way to do that?
There are ways. First of all, let's just say, how do I know if I got a gallbladder problem? If you eat pizza and you get stomach problems right away or a lot of indigestion, you've got a gallbladder problem. Why pizza? It's very high in oils and fats, cheese, oil that they make it with. And so usually I ask people, does it bother you to eat pizza? Well, I don't eat pizza. Well, why not? Well, it bothers me when I eat it.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's telling me you got a problem there. People with knee problems. People with knee problems frequently have gallbladder trouble. It's the gallbladder that's causing the knee pain. Shoulder problems. It's the gallbladder that causes the shoulder problems.
Now, why is that?
Because there are muscles, the popliteus muscle of the knee and the deltoid, the frontal deltoid muscle in the shoulder. Those muscles go weak when the gallbladder isn't functioning correctly.
All right.
And when they go weak, there's no stabilization of the knee, and people can start getting arthritis in the knee and a lot of problems. So when you fix the gallbladder, many times, Fred, the knee problems go away, the shoulder problems go away.
Now, how can chiropractic have anything to do with
How can we do that? Good question. Well, first of all, let's try to fix the cause of it. Let's start drinking more water.
All right.
Putting a lot of fluid in the system. Second of all, let's try to get the nerves working properly that go to the gallbladder, which on the top part of your back. So a lot of times when people have problems between their shoulders, it's a gallbladder problem. So let's try to get the nerves working properly to the gallbladder so it knows when it should contract and release the bile that's in there. And then thirdly, Fred, get rid of the stones in there. And so we've got a concoction that we have people take. It's something that they mix at home and drink, and it empties out the gallbladder, and many stones will come out. And they'll tell me they'll go to the bathroom the next day, and there'll be stones in the bottom of the stool. And sometimes when they flush, it doesn't even go down. And so we try to empty out the gallbladder then also. And if you can get that gallbladder emptied out, you can get the person drinking water, and you get the nerves working properly that go to that organ. That organ's going to start working well again, and digestion's going to improve, and you're going to feel better. Your knee pain's going to go away. Your shoulder pain is going to go away, and you'll be amazed at the difference.
Now, keeping a proper maintenance of one's gallbladder, would fiber be involved in that at all?
Fiber is excellent. Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. Fiber helps clear out that system, your digestive system, and helps get rid of excess cholesterol. In other words, as the fiber goes through, it mixes also with the bile, and then when you go to the bathroom, a lot of this bile leaves your system, and so that lowers your cholesterol, your total cholesterol, which it would be a good thing then also. So adding fiber to your diet actually is good for your gallbladder.
Now, in general medicine, is removal of the gallbladder just routine, or do they really consider whether or not this should be done, or is it just become routine?
It's pretty routine, Fred. Oh, you got stones, better take it out.
All right, and you mentioned they hook things up with the intestine so it still receives some of the bile.
Right, because you'd die if it didn't.
Right, just continually. But what is the advantage of keeping your gallbladder?
Well, for a number of reasons. First of all, it's the natural thing to do. Obviously, your body will work better using the organ that's supposed to be there rather than skipping that organ.
Right.
So it does help digestion quite a bit. It can also help problems with knees and shoulders too. So it helps your digestion, helps your knees, helps your shoulders.
Well, I think it's important for people to keep the gallbladders.
Keep the gallbladder and drink a lot of water. We emphasize that on this program quite a bit, how important water is. And you don't think about gallbladder when when I have a drink of water, I don't think about my gallbladder. I'm not thinking that. But I want to make sure that I drink a lot of water. And I know you've mentioned yourself, first thing you do in the morning is have a glass of water.
And we've actually done programs on that because there are so many different health issues that involve the importance of having enough hydration in your system.
Absolutely. I was just reading an article that a medical doctor wrote that talks about water being a cure for almost every disease. That if you drink enough of it, whatever the problem might be, it's going to be good for your heart. It's going to be good for your circulation. It's good for your digestion. It's good for so many different things. It's good for your kidneys.
It's also part of a delivery system to every organ in your body. It brings the nutrition there.
Yes, it brings the nutrition to the organ, and it pulls the poisons out of there. You know, whether you're urinating or you're having bowel movements, either way, water is very important. You won't have a good bowel movement if you're not having enough water, too, because there's not enough fluid in there.
Now, if people get pain, if they have the symptom of eating pizza, for instance, and having digestive problems, are those the only tests, or are there other ways to find out whether there's a problem?
Well, when patients come into my office, there's some muscle tests that I do. There's some acupuncture points that I'll test on people, and that'll tell me if that gallbladder is involved or not. And so we test people for that to see if it is a gallbladder problem, and then we'll treat that gallbladder, and we'll get amazing results.
Now, if a person knows they have stones, they've passed stones, or the doctor's told them they have stones, it's still reversible to get the problem fixed.
In my experience, it's been very reversible. I've had people call me from the hospital and say they want to take my gallbladder out. Is there anything that you can do? And I said, well, it sounds to me like it's pretty serious at this point in time because they want to operate. But if you can get out and come into the office, let's try it. And I haven't had it happen once yet that I can think of, that I know of anyway, that it hasn't helped people.
All right. Well, I know that, once again, you have a website where people can learn more about this.
Yes, that's www.warnerchiro.com.
And you also have literature.
They can contact our office at 815-398-8111.
815-398-8111. That is Warner Chiropractic, located at 4855 East State Street in Rockford in the Manhattan Plaza. You'll meet Dr. Jim Warner, that good-looking tan golfer there. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.
And that's going to do it today for Health Matters.